What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zone November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by, your one stop for everything adventure radio and some guy drinking coffee.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
It is Sunday, means it's time for a little shenanigans. And speaking of shenanigans, let's thank these guys right here, the Patreons, because I'll tell you what, I love having shenanigans with each and every one of these guys. They're absolutely amazing people. And, I have a goal to activate with 10 Patreons that I've never activated with this year. And I've got 2 of them down, but I still need 8 more. So if you're on this list and you think you'd like to activate with me, you need to be hitting me up and let's try to work something out. I got several of them scheduled, so I've got, but I still need some more. So let's make it happen. Also, a big shout out to the YouTube members. Once again, thank you very much. And maybe you guys notice, as well as the Patreons notice, we did away with the daily update, voted out in the last business meeting for a weekly update. So look forward to having weekly updates now. And then over to the Adventure Club. No changes, but we definitely had a very big off-stream donation. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. So I'll thank people for the off-stream donation in just a minute. But anyway, Dan, how's it going?
Made a big stream off donation. It wasn't me.
I know. Listen. Typically, well, you know what? We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about this. Let me get a drink of Dr. Pepper, because I'll tell you what. I just ran in the door. Well, let me take that back. I hobbled in the door from my road trip, and literally threw the laptop up and got this thing going. That's why you all got this generic thumbnail for this stream, because it was done on the road.
While you take a swig of your Dr. Pepper, let me get on my little rant real fast. I'm a new CW operator. Hence, I probably don't know your call sign very well. It would help me tremendously if you knew your own call sign when I call back to you. That's all I'm going to say.
I would double that right there, because I would tell you what, nothing is more annoying than where your call sign comes through. Maybe I heard it wrong. Maybe you're sending it wrong. But either way, I got it wrong, and I send back. For example, if I as Whiskey Delta 4 Delta Alpha November, and I send back Whiskey Delta 4 Delta Alpha Delta, and you come back with a good signal report, I'm going to think that it's Whiskey Delta 4 Delta Alpha Delta.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to go in my log. And then later, I'm going to get a nasty email from you saying that you didn't log me, or maybe I just happened to look at the spots and I see that you respotted me and thanked me for the contact. And I was like, well, I didn't work, Dan.
I understand that, but that's not what happened. All right, so what happened to me is somebody called and I called them back, and then 2 people answered me at the same time. Okay, one of them was the person that I called back. The other one was somebody out of Texas, I believe it was. And so I sent the guy's call sign back that I was talking to. I said, you're 5'9", you're 5'9", thank you. And then I sent his state, which was not the state of the other guy. And I said 73. This is WD4DAN. Dit. And then I hear 2 people at the same time send back 73 and a dit. I said, no, okay, please. I barely know your call sign because I'm struggle bus number 1, sitting like licking the windows on the struggle bus over here, buddy. Okay, please know your call sign, because it'll help me a lot.
That exact thing happened to me last week. I was working Steven. Thank you very much for the super chat, Steven. I was working Steven, and I sent Kilo Delta 9 Uniform Delta Victor. And as he's coming back, I hear a second station. They're like literally in sync. I mean, they are in sync sending, but I could tell there's 2 stations calling there. And I'm like, okay, I don't know who this other station even is. So when they get done again, I resend Kilo Delta 9, Uniform Delta Victor, and send the signal report again. And Steven comes back to me.
I will give props out to the guy that I was working, though. The reason why I could pick him out is because he did not zero beat me. So I could tell who I was talking to and who I was supposed to be replying to, even though the other person was in there sending the signal report at the same time. But I still don't know who the other person is. I could watch the video again and figure it out. But
so and also speaking of Steven, I'm going to give him. I don't know if I'm going to give him a shout out or criticize him here, but I said that I wasn't going to help nobody with the PZN challenge this year. I knew that I was probably only going to get that one park today because I was traveling back for this stream. I may get to run over and do a late shift here, or not a late shift, early and late shift after the stream. We'll see how my legs are feeling, and we're going to talk about that too. But on-stream donation, yes, thank you very much for the on-stream donation. And see there, Steven, he's throwing in that extra penny to get rid of your 99 there. but anyway, so I sent Steven a message after I did my first band today because I was getting ready to go to I was going to originally go to 20 meters. I said, are you near a radio? Because I know he's on his road trip to Texas or wherever he's at. And he said, I'm currently working a 5 for CW. So not only did he's going to get a lot of people jealous. Not only did he get help getting in the PZN challenge for today by getting a hunt, but I technically hunted him, which gives him a hunt because he was in a park. I technically hunted. So he got that dog don't hunt and me hunting him. And on top of that, butchers my call sign. I had this
only because it was a 5-er.
No, I helped Steven out anyway. It was nice that it was a 5-er, but he sent back Kilo Echo 8 Papa Delta something. I don't know what he sent back. And I was pretty sure he still knew it was me, but I still sent back my correct call sign because I wasn't sure that he knew it was me. And I sent it back to him, and he did come back. And then he apologized about butchering it, so that's how I know he knew it. But
yeah, he got me park to park too on CW, which was cool.
Hey, thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Terry, for the super chat. Now we're 2 cents in the win.
I knew he was in the 5-er when he parked to park me, but I was gonna ask him to give me all 5 of his park numbers over at CW.
That is what I.
He sent me a text message and said, "Okay, here's my 5 park number."
I should have went park to park ?
That would have been funny. I bet you he would have. He probably just would have QSY'd and said, "The hell with that."
So anyway, before we talk about why my legs are hurting and all that good stuff, we're going to talk about a thank you for the off-stream donation. So last week, I believe it was, or maybe it was just Wednesday stream before that, I was talking about doing something to make my roving game faster and to help Sherry out to where she could go out and activate on her own and stuff like that. And I want to super thank Kilo 4 Lima, India, because 891.
Wait a minute. Let me make you big because that's nice.
And 891 showed up at my house.
Nice.
So, and it's funny because when he asked me if I was good on Zed, and Dan has done this to me as well. Asked me if I'm good on Zed. And you never think something like that. But when I get home and I get boxes and I pick them, when I pick the box up, this happened both times. Both times when Dan's in it and this one, I said, that's radio weight. You know it instantly.
Either that or a bag of wing nuts.
So thank you very much, Josh. That's really awesome. And my plans for the 891. Hey, thank you very much, Kent, for 3 months. I will not forget your cue. So you're already in the log. The log's just not turned in, Kent. Yeah, we'll go ahead and throw that out there before we talk about my plan for that. So if you worked me Saturday at Kilo 2726, you know what? But it's shenanigans, and we're going to tell the story, but we're going to tell the story in a way that I won't get banned for YouTube.
I'll get you fired up. I'll say if you use hammers, it wouldn't have happened.
It would have happened if you oversaved the log. It's going to happen. So, all right. First off, I went to North Carolina this weekend, and I went to do a soda. That's why my legs are hurting. And I'm going to tell you, it was steep. It was very, very steep. It wasn't that long of a hike. I think I got about 4.8 miles in, but it was very, very steep. You know how they give mild, moderate, difficult. The level on the trail said strenuous.
Well, I personally think you did a great job for somebody with no knee.
Well, my shin splints think differently right now, but
right.
But so I hike up and I get up there, and it's by a radio tower. I don't know why I had such high noise. The bands kind of sucked, is what everybody was telling me, but I was close to a radio tower, so I don't know. I did have high noise, and the activation got done, and yeah, yeah, I know, Toby. We hear you. We hear you, Toby. I know exactly what those stars mean. But I got the activation done. So then I did come down, and I was in a park when I was doing the summit, but I came down because the bands were horrible, and there was a QSO state QSO party going on, and I was 5 watts. I can't compete with these stations that's moving in QRM and me. So I go down in the park like the good POTA guy, so I can throw some power back at these people and get some people. And I stayed in the park for quite a while, and I did a lot of bands, and I had a really, really great activation. Matter of fact, while I was on 20 meters, I get a park to park from the same park. And I'm like, wait, you're in my park. Where are you at? I said, this is where I'm at. Come meet me. So November 4 Alpha Tango Juliet and his buddy who was activating with him come out and met me, and we sat there and we talked for quite a bit. But anyway, I go back to my activation. I think I did 40, 20, and 15, and then 4 bands on CW. I get almost done with this activation, and a group of people comes in and starts taking over the pavilion that I'm in. Now, they start setting out their big picnic spread everywhere and talking about, where's the mustard? Where's the screaming all this stuff. I'm just trying to ignore them. I grab my headphones and I put them on, and I'm just keeping on going. And, all right. So then they start burning their municipal stuff that you burn and getting wild. And I'm like, oh, God, I got to hurry up and get this activation done. I got to get out of here. So then one of them's kid decides he wants to take off and do a sprint straight through my end-fed wire. And I watched the wire just go ping and shoot off. And at this point, I'm angry. And I'm like, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to get out of here before I lose my cool. So
if it would have been me, you would have keyed up when I was touching it.
So I go to save the log. Oh, trust me, if I would have known that he was going to run through my infield, I would have waited till it right as he is hitting it, and I'd have laid it on. I'd have keyed it up good. But so I go to save my log, and I'm so angry, I'm not paying attention. Instead of hitting export, I hit new, and I put the title, which I created. Because that's what all you do when you're exporting. You put the same title. And yes, it did bring up the box and say it already existed. I thought, well, maybe I saved that when Tony came up here. And it's just telling me it already exists. And I saved it when Tony came up. And because I restarted, I took like a 25, 30-minute break. So I hit OK. And as soon as I hit OK, it just went blank. And I knew instantly what I did. I just saved over my log. So all those contacts went out the window, and I have gotten a very big number of them back, and Kent's is one of them. I have not turned in the log because I'm giving people a little bit more time. It'll probably go in tonight, and then if people message me next week, I'll re-add it. I'll take it out and resubmit it if I got to. But I did it. I messed up. Ain't nothing I can say. I saved over the log.
Well, the POTA police are going to come get your ass.
Well, you know what? The POTA activator police is going to get the hunters, because I'm going to tell y'all what. If you would have respotted me after you hunted me, so the first thing I did was I grabbed 30 contacts straight off the respots. 30 people respotted me, and all those went right back in and got it the respots. So yeah, Chris, you got me on the soda, and I do have the soda log. So, but yeah, if you had respotted me, hey, thank you very much for the super chat, Scott. If you'd have respotted me, you'd have went in super fast.
Yeah. You brought up a good little tidbit there about the export. You got to type in the file name again. I sent a feature request in a couple of months ago, 6 months ago or so, that when you export a native, just have it default to the same name as your database file. That way I don't have to type it again, because it's really annoying. But
yeah, I can agree with that. Okay, so anyway, yeah, the plans for the 891 is, and maybe somebody's got a better idea. This is my current plans. So I want to put it on Sherry's car to where if she can get out after work and go do a quick activation on her own, it's an 891 with an ATOS. There's no setup involved. You just pull in and do it. But I want it set up on the car also, so when I'm using the car and want to go on a speed rove, I'm basically, the second I'm crossing the boundaries of that park, I'm calling out, getting my 10 contacts and still swinging right back around and back out of the park. Yeah. I'm not even turning off the car no more with that. But now this is my mounting plans, because I've heard a lot of people, some people tells me to use the diamond mount, and then other people tell me that using the diamond mount, that their antenna is going horizontal when they're going down the road, and this, that, and the other. So what I'm wanting to do is I'm going to run a hitch mount. It's a hitch flagpole mount, and the flagpole holder comes up about this tall. Well, where's my other hand? There we go. About this tall, and then it's got 2 screw-in things to where you can run another pole down in that. And I'm going to get it up to about the top of the car, and then I'm going to put a mirror mount 239 to 239 on there and run the ATOS off the top of that. That is the plan. And
I think it'll work.
I'm curious about people's thoughts and how they've done it. A lot of people do stick it on the car. I did see on Facebook, Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar sent me the picture. A guy did something a little similar, but I think it would be too low for me, because I'm worried about like something hitting the antenna being low. But he just ran a hitch out, and that like a regular Reese hitch type thing, and he ran a 1 foot threaded bolt. He bolted it, he ran it straight through that, and he bolted it down here, and then he bolted it at the top. And then on the top of that 1 foot, he did the mirror mount, and he said it worked great.
Yeah, I mean, on second thought, I don't think that your setup's going to work very well at all. I think you should just send me that ATAS and the 891. I'm good on the Z. So,
well, we could probably work out a trade. I could send you the ATAS and 891. And you could send me your 891 and your ATOS along with your ICOM for a runover video.
No. I really don't know what I'm going to do with my 7300. It's been in my Apache case now for 6 or 7 months, and I have not even opened the case. I think I'm just going to hang on to it. I mean, I'm not using it though at all.
Yeah, that's right. Chris said you had another ATOS.
I did have two, yeah, but I only have one now. So
And me being the good friend that I am to you, Chris, I didn't snake you on that one.
well,
Because
before F8, what's going on?
because I did know it was for sale, but I knew you were wanting it.
He definitely got the Discord discount, the DD.
The Discord discount, that is great.
I'm gonna have to wait to read your comment there. It says, Dan, I'm taking donations for a new, just saying, but that stupid heart thing in the chat is in my way. A new rig. Okay, I got it now. Okay. I don't know why YouTube decided to put that right there. It's retarded.
It is. It's absolutely retarded. Gets on my last nerve. But yeah, I had a pretty interesting weekend. Had a great time out the park, and I think I'm somewhere close to 100 people recovered in the log so far. So I've got about 67 more because I had about 167, and I know how I'm going to get some of those people because I thought about it on my long ride home. So a lot of those were parked parks. So I'm going to go in my 100 QSOs from that day. And if I have 100 QSOs from somebody from a park, I know that they worked me that day because that's the only way they could have worked me that day.
I have, and I know you do too, a little audio recorder like you would use at a lecture hall or whatever. And I keep saying that I want to record all of my activations. One, in case something happens to the audio on a camera or something like that. But two, it'll be really useful in a time if I blow my log out too, because you could just listen to your activation again and relog it, right?
You could.
I mean, it's a once in a 10-year thing that you're gonna do, but
Yeah, you
but
could. That's an extra
yeah,
an extra step.
yeah.
And it's funny because I sat at that park all day long and I could have did that easily, but it's just that you know I'll tell you what, I'm getting ready to put out a video on my Poda wagon,
You're ready for it.
and I'm going to tell you my Poda wagon is a game changer for people who are older or have physical injuries that they don't want to continually hurt. So basically, we'll just say that after I did this hike and was like absolutely killed. Now we're talking my calves are burnt too from going up, and my shin splints are killing me from going down because they were working overtime because I don't have an ACL in my knee, like Dan said. Hey, thank you very much. So now we got a 3 in there. Thank you very much for the super chat.
Kent's like, thank God I'm in the log.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, he's like, he put me in the log. Get him in there. Get him in there. Michael says radio flyer. It's way better than a radio flyer. And I'm getting ready to, I may drop that video this week, matter of fact, because it is. So after that big long thing, when I did go down into the park, I look around in the parking lot there and I'm looking and I'm like, there's power lines everywhere. This ain't going to be worth the crap. So I found me I looked on the map and I found me a picnic area down in the park, and I drove down there. Well, I pull in the parking lot and I'm looking. I'm like, and that pavilion's a long way. And I got a DX10. I got a 60 amp hour battery. I got my backpack that has my headphones, my laptop, all my cables, my CW key. I've got my pole that run up for my end fed. And I'm like, yeah, no. So I pull out the Poda wagon and I roll that sucker out there, and it's a game changer. I'm telling you, I've went to a lot of parks now that, if here's the thing, can I pack all that gear 100 yards? Absolutely. Does it hurt my bad back? Absolutely. And normally it's 2 trips because if you pack the DX10 and the 60 amp hour battery in one, I'm going to tell you, it's brutal.
Imagine lugging this 100 amp hour around like that.
Dude,
Wow.
You need you a Poda wagon for that thing for sure.
Yeah, right.
What does that thing weigh? Do you know?
I haven't put it on a scale. I don't know, but in all honesty, maybe a couple more pounds than the 60. It's not bad. I mean, it's really not bad.
It's actually funny because so the day the 891 came in, of course, I'm like, I got to activate with this thing. So we go across the road, myself and Sherry, and do a little activation. And I just grabbed my original Poda box, my battery box, my very first one that I had, which it used to have the 20 in it, but it has a 30 in it now. So we get back and she grabs that battery box. She's like, man, this box is so super light. And I said, no, it's really not, because that's a 30 amp hour battery in there.
Yeah.
I said, but you're just used to the 60 amp hour.
Compared to the other one, yeah.
Hey, Red, thank you very much for having me on the show. That was absolutely great.
Yeah, that was a really good show. Yep.
Had a great time. You know, I honestly wish I would have stayed in Florida an extra week because the very next week, Red messaged me and said, hey, are you still in Florida? I'm coming down and we could hook up and do an activation. And I was already back and I was like, oh, man. One day. I, however, am not in shape to go to do a soda with Red because I've seen stuff that he goes up and it's every bit as steep as what I just went up. Although I did get contacted by the Appalachian Soda group. I don't know their exact title or nothing. And in May, they always do, like, there's several states that all get together and they do the highest summits from those states, and everybody tries to get summit to summit and stuff like that. And they've never had West Virginia included. And they said, we notice you haven't done that soda this year, so you're eligible. Would you be interested? And I said, well, let me check my schedule, and we'll see if I can't make that happen.
Yeah, but how bad is that hike to that summit? I mean, it could be the highest summit in West Virginia, sure, but the hike might not be bad.
It's nowhere near what I just did. Nowhere near it. No, yeah. It's a piece of cake, actually. Well, I won't say it's a piece of cake, but it's very, I can do that one very easy. And they also was telling me that their camp meet. If you remember when we had Betsy and her husband on, they were talking about going to the Big Soda camping thing. It's coming up at the 1st of May. So maybe some more soda in my future. I will be putting out the video from that soda. There's not a lot of contacts, but there's plenty of contacts in the video, we'll say.
Terry got a new Whiskey Victor Park today, thanks to your sister Carrie.
Yeah, I hate it that I was out of town, and then they come through here and hitting all the parks, because I really do. They actually got me park to park as well. They are in West Virginia, and I'm in North Carolina. Did activate my favorite park in North Carolina on the way home today. Got me another Lake Norman State Park. Slowly creeping up in the rankings there. So.
Yeah, Lake Norman's a beautiful park. I've only been there once, but the time I was there, it was great. Met up with KO4GAR. I was up there and we did an activation. Had a load of fun.
I'm gonna kill him. I am literally like right down the road from his house, and he was too busy that day. And I didn't tell nobody I was coming or nothing like it, but he was too busy and couldn't get up to meet me that day. I was like, man, that really sucks. It was crazy because I had 4 people contact me on the radio and say, "Man, you're practically in my backyard. If I had time, I'd come to." I'm like, "Well, I'm going to be here for a while." Just like Tony, he told me park to park in the same park, and I said, "Look, I'm down here by the lake, up at the picnic pavilion. Come down here and meet me." So
Yeah, he had a lot of fun. So he's always if you do an activation with him, he'll bring free beverages.
who are you talking to?
David, if you do an activation with David.
Oh, okay. I thought you said if you're talking about me. I was like, I don't bring free beverages.
No, not you. No.
And here's the thing. I love meeting people in the park. But my attention span depends on what kind of activation I'm doing. If you come out to meet me and I'm on a rove, I'm not slowing my pile up down or nothing like that. I'm finishing my activation and I'll talk to you while I'm tearing down, and then I'm going to go. Not that I'm being rude, but I have a game plan for what I do every day, And now that particular day, my game plan was to bang out contacts until it was time for me to head back and pick up the girls. That was it. So when they actually came up, I tried my best forever to wrap up 20. It was like every single call I would be like, okay, last call 20, and 4 more come. Okay, last call 20. And then finally I got off 20 and I put QRT. I'll be back after I talk to these guys,
Well, calling last call in any band is going to invite like 20 more people, right? I seriously think there's people that lurk there just to wait for you to say, okay, last call, and then they come just roaring right in.
I want to call the one specific person out, but I won't. But there is one person, especially on 40 meters, anytime I could literally call CQ for 10 minutes straight if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And the very second I say last call 40, his call, I've even did it before. I've said last call 40, and as I'm saying it, I'm typing in his call sign, and because he's coming.
You should get him next time. Just start calling CQ, and then don't do a last call. All right, QRT. Oh, wait a minute. That's right, Chris. If you're not first, you're last. Might as well be first.
Actually, Chris, 84XO, send me our time on our contacts. I know I have one of your times in there. You're logged in there once, but we worked each other twice at that park on Saturday. So send me the times for those. I think
I worked you. I think I worked you 10 bands on 3 different modes, right?
Yeah, I think you did not. Here's the thing: people who are sending me these calls, I know if I've worked y'all or not. Don't think you're going to pull a fast one.
He might not remember exactly who he worked, but he knows if he didn't work.
The big thing is, it's like I've got a list of people that I know I've worked that's still not in that log because I don't know the exact times. And before I do that log tonight, I will guesstimate those times and put those people in there to make sure they get credit, because I do still have a list of them. But I'd prefer you send me the right stuff. And that's just like Steven. He said, I worked you on this band, and this band. I'm like, yeah, I know that, but okay. I just added times. So good stuff. So
North Carolina got a new park, Michael says.
They did. While I was in that notification come up, and I immediately click on that park to see where it's at. And it's out there near Michael and them, which was like 3.5, 4 hours from me. So I was like, crap. So I messaged both Michael and Josh and said, hey, y'all got a new park.
It was activated yesterday and about a month ago before.
But I'm telling you what, if that thing would have been within an hour and a half of me, that'd have been some mad puppies, because I would have stole that one from them. So, but overall, good time. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember because my short-term memory. People don't believe me when I say my short-term memory sucks, because you can remember 400 call signs, don't you? But like, I don't even know if that's my first summit for the year. I'm pretty sure it's my first summit for the year, but I might have did one back in January. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I know I didn't do none in February.
Was it on your goals for this year to do a certain number of summits?
No.
Okay.
I didn't put a certain number of anything on my goal. The only number that was on my goals is 10 for 10 new Patreons. The problem is the Patreons that are easy for me to work to activate with. I've activated with all of them,
Just have Terry change his name again. It'll be a new Patreon. Just have him go into witness protection or something.
Oh, Terry got me on my summit and in the park.
Yeah, it was a good day though. So had fun. That's what counts.
You were activating out in QRP that day too, and from what I heard, you were not having the best of luck on 40 meters, especially
40 and 20 were I don't know. They were just weird. I mean, they weren't bad, but they were
40.
Weird.
See, here was the thing. So my plan was, and this is another thing about being prepared, always having extra. I've always told y'all, always take extra stuff. So my plan was to get up there, and I was going to throw out an infed, because that's QRP. I throw out an infed, I'm going to get out good. But even with the bands, I still probably wouldn't. But luckily for me, I did bring an extra antenna because I get up there and did not have everything I needed for the infed. So I ended up throwing out my MFJ and some radials, and that's why I only did 40, because I didn't want to readjust the thing.
It is annoying. I used that antenna today, and it's about the only thing I don't like about it. It's kind of annoying to change bands.
It's a great in a pinch antenna. I love it for that. And it's great for like soda and stuff like that. But I'm the same way. I don't like to change bands on antennas like that. I don't like to make adjustments. That's why I'm a tuner type of guy. Take a tuner and just tune something. But,
yeah, that's the antenna I used today. So put it on a magic carpet. Worked good.
Yeah, I'm definitely not faulting that antenna. I think band conditions all the way that day, because I've used that antenna plenty of times and made multiple contacts. Heck,
now yesterday I was on the Eagle One, and that's when the bands, like I said, they weren't. I'm not going to say they were bad, but they were funky. They just acted weird, like a lot of QSB, like heavy QSB on 20 meters.
It was that Virginia State QSO party, but what's crazy is I don't know if it ended by the time I got down off the mountain and stuff, but when I got down off the mountain and into the park, I was scrolling through, and there's plenty of spots everywhere to get. I was like, well, what happened to them guys? Did they work all the counties in eastern West Virginia already?
No counties left. They went home.
So I don't know. I did get to use the infed down there, though.
I'm still a fan of wire antennas, though. I mean, I like, vertical, adjustables type in a pinch, but I'm still just a wire antenna fan.
Yeah. I do and I don't. It's just, it depends on my mood. Here's the thing. With my Eagle One, it's convenient. I can throw it up anywhere I want, and I can do any band I want. That's it. But then I throw up the infed, and it works great. But then there's certain bands I can't get, So it's just like, that's like, I don't know why. I do not know why, but everybody tells me it's just whatever ground I'm on. But sometimes that thing will tune right up on 30, and it's not, resident for 30 at all. And then sometimes it says, nope, not doing it. not at all.
If I'm using an NFET, I have a while, to stay into the park and chill out, relax, listen
Yeah,
listen to nature, work some radio. But most of the time, when I'm done with my activation, I want to be done with my activation because I'm probably brain dead and might not even be in a good mood after what I just went through. But and the Eagle One's nice because you can just drop it, throw it in the back of the truck, and go. And feds and stuff, get them out of the trees. So it takes a little bit longer to tear down.
that is why you should use a mass.
Yeah,
I
I have the carbon 6.
I have my mass set up down to an art. I have gotten really, really quick with setting up. The only thing is sometimes I get a little overzealous and think I don't like this angle coming down. I don't like that little. It's got a little droop in it. I got to let me pull it a little bit tighter. And I use the lean method. I don't use, something strapped in. I use the lean method.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll pull the pole over onto a different branch, and then if I try to take it, go over and adjust it back, then the end pulling in like that because I've got the pole too far on this side. But normally, I've got it down to it. And it's funny too because I've got it down to such an art that like I can go to a shelter and I can say, look, like, all right, that tree, so I need to be on this table, and I have it down to an art to where I know where it's going to work out right.
Which is funny. The last time I went out and put an NFET up, I got out my throw bag and my weight, and I tossed a line into the tree and everything else, and I totally forgot that in the side of my Gigaparts bag, I have that carbon 6 mask yet.
Well,
Carbon 6 mask.
first
And
off,
I totally forgot I had it, or I would have used it.
I need to try out a carbon 6 because I have not yet. But Stephen, thank you very much for the super chat. And how many gallons of banana pudding do you need to get me? Okay, well here's my question, because are you just saying in general because I like banana pudding, or are you saying because
Is it?
see every quarter, I normally will have somebody in the lead. And like poor Terry, last quarter, he led the Adventure Club up until the very last day, and then out of blue, Dan has this habit of coming in and saying, "Hey, James, here's you a Sea-Doo." So Josh had a very commanding lead, and he just went ahead and pulled the Sea-Doo button on Dan.
Yes.
So are you saying how many gallons of banana pudding do you need for that, or just for me in general?
See, that was my question. I need a little context there. Is that like, how many gallons does he need a day or a week or a quarter? Yeah. Royal pudding.
Here was the thing. I was so busy with that soda and Poda on Saturday, I didn't even eat until late that night.
Should have brought you some banana pudding over
here. And it would have been nice if I would have had Steven to hike up to that summit with me with his backpack cooler, and while I'm making CW contacts, spooning me the banana pudding.
He is your pudding, sir.
And Terry, you probably do like bloomer pudding. That's why you steal people's underwear.
He says for the rest of the year.
How many gallons
of banana pudding?
Well,
wow.
What kind of banana pudding are we talking? Because there's different levels of banana pudding, Stephen. There's the kind that you make at home. The instant stuff. There's the kind you could buy at a regular grocery store or something like that.
There's instant banana pudding.
Yes, and no, don't do that. Don't do that. They actually Jell-O makes a banana pudding if you can find it. It's extremely hard to find. It's not bad at all. Already made. Talk about where you go in the store and you buy the little cups of pudding.
Yeah,
it's already made by, and it's not bad. But normally they only have the banana cream, and it's nowhere near the banana pudding. But then Stephen, there's a place right down the road from my house that's called Parkway, and it it's really, really up there in the banana pudding. It compares to Bucky's.
Whoa, really?
I said compares. Bucky's is still going to be the champ.
Okay, well, if you had to give Parkway, all right, so if Bucky's is 10 and you had to give Parkway's a rating, what would it be?
A 9.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to try that.
Yeah. It's also convenient from 1810 that it's a sin not to stop, you know.
There you go.
Also,
Larry, you're absolutely correct. Real nana pudding have to have real nanners. If it don't got real nanners, it's not real nanner pudding.
Steven says he's in Texas. What do you think I'm talking about? I'm still confused, but I do know that Dr. Pepper was originated in Texas. So, you know, if you can get me some like super special brew Dr. Pepper, you know, that's been aged over 42,000 years with bourbon or something.
Insert sponsored by Dr. Pepper advertisement here.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great. Dr. Pepper get a sponsor.
No. So it's funny because you know you've all heard of lot lizards before, but have you ever heard of a park salamander?
A park salamander? No.
Yeah. So I was at this really trashy park in Florida. It's one that I hate going to because they always trash it. It's a little wildlife management area and people would dump their trash there and stuff. But I was there activating one day, and this woman comes and she heads in and walks in. So when she's coming, now first off, when she's coming out, she's got on these shorts that are up the crack of her butt, and she's wearing a sports bra. So when she comes out, instead of walking straight and going to her car, she turns and comes right by the van where me and Mom's at.
Are you tracking elk?
And she said, "Ooh, Dr. Pepper, I'm from blah, blah, Texas, you know." I said, "Cool, watch my wire." And I just keep going. So I said, "Cool, watch my wire." I was like, I don't deal with park salamanders.
Park salamander.
Mom said,
That's a good one.
Mom said, "What was that?" I said, "That's a park salamander." She said, "What's a park salamander?" And that's what came into my head, a park salamander. No spinning of my VFO.
I wonder if they pay the yearly fee to get the park pass, or if they do like pre-admission. You know, like every time they come in, they have to give a little bit of their earnings and put it in the box.
There's a wildlife management area.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I have my park pass for next year.
It'd be good for another 2 years for you, right?
Well, you kind of,
2 trips.
It's 2. Well, no, not 2. It depends if I go down before February. Yeah, it's good till the end of March next year, end of March 2025. So it depends on how many times I end up in Florida between now and then. Because as you can tell from this weekend, you never know what's going to happen with me. Like one night, y'all was talking to me, and the next Dan messaged me or something. Yeah. He said something about, I forget what he asked me, and I said, "Well, I'm on the road." He said, "To a park?" I said, "No, to another state."
The next thing I know, you're spotted in Crowder's Mountain. It's like, what?
And it wasn't even no major rove or nothing. You know, I'm sure everybody's like, "Oh, he's in Crowder Mountain. He's going to hit like 40 North Carolina." I did a soda and a POTA, and then the next day I did another POTA on the way out.
So, you're starting to become like Carrie. It's hard to guess where you're going to be. It's like Mississippi, okay, Louisiana, Texas, Nevada, and all of a sudden she's like in Maine the next day. It's like then Alaska.
Like the other day she was in Arkansas, and then this morning she's in West Virginia, and I'm like, come on, what's going on?
We should take her activation days and times and park numbers and plot them on a map over the course of a year just to see the jigsaw shapes.
PP man, if you left and came back, you're doing something wrong because you're supposed to stay the whole time.
Oh no, he just has to watch the replay, right?
He kind of made me feel bad today. He's like, "Have you watched my videos that I put in the Patreon room?" I said, "Buddy, I have been out of state The only real time that I've been on Discord was to tell people, hey, I need your logs.
I'm gonna give him a shout out though. He got me on CW today on 20 meters, and I did ask him to repeat his call sign a couple times just because he was kind of hard to hear, just as far as the band noise and everything else. But he did a really good job. He's doing a good job with CW.
He got me the other night on CW as well. So
and on that note, I say I couldn't hear him, but I started editing the video earlier, and it's amazing how much a camera will make you look like a dumbass.
It does not count because
it picks up everything that you can't hear.
I'm sorry, cameras superimpose sound.
I don't know what it is.
I can know that I've been sitting there struggling with a call like forever, and maybe even have to ask them 3 or 4 times, and then I watch that back on film, and it's like loud and clear the first time. And
that's what I did with Pee-Pee. He was literally a 3-3, and I was a 2-2 to him. I mean, the bands were up and down, and I could barely hear him sitting right there in front of the radio. But I go back and watch it on video, and he's like, sounds like a 5-9, and I'm like, oh God.
I'm hoping that's what I'm hoping for though, because on that soda that I did Saturday, the sound on the CW, every single one of them was super, super light.
Yeah,
and it's kind of funny. You'll laugh because I'm laid back on the ground, Dan. Laid back on the ground with my radio, my bags into CW. I said, Lord, if I was just drinking coffee by a lake, I'd be Dan right now.
There you go. You should have brought you a cup of Joe with you.
PP man, you do need practice. You need practice every single day.
You did a good job with me, though.
Yeah, because I need practice every single day. We all need practice every day. If you're going to do CW, do it right. Do it every day. Speaking of somebody who's been away for a while, at least to my knowledge, I did get Kilo Oscar 4 November Lima Lima in my CW log the other day.
Very nice.
It was great to actually hear him. I've missed hearing him out there. That is for sure.
Yeah, I'm having fun with the Sedubas. It's really taxing my brain, so it's a good thing.
I wish I would have thought though, did like you and sent Stephen back part numbers.
Yeah, I should have. make them send all 5 of them, and then question them on the third one.
Listen, I've had somebody send me a 3-fer before.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, my head's ready to explode. And, I went back and I checked spots and stuff, and I had all 3 part numbers right, but my head was, I don't know what it is. I can send numbers in the call just fine, but when you start putting them together, they just, yes, the band's definitely was odd.
40 wasn't good to me at all. I got like 3 or 4 contacts, and that was it.
But honestly, it was only till like, I don't know what time I got off the hill. Whatever time I got off the hill, the bands were back to normal.
Oh, it's like taking your car to the mechanic. I mean, once you drop it off, it's never going to make the same noise again.
Right? Because here's the thing, I had the height that I should have got out extremely well. I mean, when I was driving out toward it, I was like, well, I know where the summit's at. Yeah. It was obvious. And then I turned off the interstate and I start pulling down the road, and I'm looking and I was like, oh my God, what have I done? And I get about what on the I went live on Twitter at one point, and I said, I'm hoping that I'm 3/4 of the way up. I was about halfway up, but like at that point, I got done doing that live, and I was like, why did I do that? Now everybody's expecting me to do a soda, and I can't turn around.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now you're committed, socially committed.
It's funny. Yeah. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, it might be a good thing to do, because I do randomly go live on Twitter every now and then. It's normally something stupid, like I'm sitting halfway up my summit telling you how tired I am, and how out of shape I am.
That's right. It's no longer
And-
Twitter. It's no longer Twitter though.
Oh,
Daddy
X.
Elon.
Yeah,
Daddy
X.
Elon said it was X.
Yeah.
That's right.
So if you don't follow me on X.
Make it sound so provocative too in a video. Follow me on X.
Speaking of X, we are live on X right now. And if somebody's watching on X, send a message. I want to see if it comes through like it's supposed to. Send a message that you're live on X.
Live on X.
Or you're watching me live on X. Terry, do not send a message saying you're watching me on XXX because that would be scary.
Never know. You never know. Sandy says, James, you better come see me in Florida. I'll have ribs waiting on you and Sherry.
Listen, you know, she had me at the ribs. When I met Sandy down there, she told me she makes amazing ribs. You know, she had me on the ribs.
And what kind of ribs, Sandy? Are they baby back? Are they beef, pork, or St. Louis style? I mean, what do you do?
And I do
because I might come down too.
I do still have parks that I need to do in that area too. Matter of fact, the two that I was going to get after we left Sandy sent us to a little sandwich shop to eat because we were starving. And that sandwich shop made me feel so good. And I said, it's about time to head back.
Isn't that funny? The locals know the best places to eat. A little hole in the wall that's run down, half the ceiling tiles missing has the best food in the world.
I'm gonna tell you, I ate a ribeye sandwich there.
Yes,
and
sir.
It was good. I'm telling you what, it was. And their fries were homemade fries, but they had different seasonings that you could put them on. And I got the Cajun. Oh yeah. Yes, I did survive Crowders, and my legs would argue with you, David, but I did survive. I do wish you would have got to popped in and got to see me there, but you know it's my fault because I didn't tell you I was coming, but I didn't really know I was coming until the night before. So yes, David, my calves hurt from going up, and my shin splints hurt from coming down.
Mm. You're just getting old, man.
And actually, David, I need you to. We made 2 contacts when I was in the park. One of them was on 15 meters. I need you to send me the other contact and what time and stuff it was because I had a log mishap. But I got your 15-meter one. He was just scrolling 15 meters and just heard me. And here's the thing. I know I was really close to him because 15 meters is a long man for one. And, you know, I know I'm really close to him anyway, but he came through my speaker like 30 over.
Totally unrelated. And I don't know why this entered my head, but I read that comment in Morgan Freeman's voice for some reason. That mountain has broken many people's spirit.
Let's hear it in Morgan Freeman.
I can't speak like Morgan Freeman, but just imagine his voice saying that line in your head. That's I don't know why I thought about that.
Speaking of interesting voices, has anybody had Arnold hunt them lately? He hasn't hunted me lately.
I have not heard him.
In fact, I'm going to look on POTA, this POTA right now and see if he's hunted anybody.
Yeah, shoot him an email, see what he's doing.
Well, you know, this is what happens, guys. We're like family. Once you start hunting me over and over and over, we become family. And as a matter of fact, just this past week, I had posted a picture where I had been to my grandkid's birthday party, and Kathy, Kilo Bravo 8, Victor Oscar November, had put happy birthday on it. And when she did, because I had meant to do it for a while, and I had just kept forgetting. But I immediately messaged her and I said, "Are you and Mike okay? I haven't heard you guys on the radio in a while." And you know, come to find out that they just were having antenna issues and they had to order parts and stuff like that. But you know, you worry about people when they hunt you so much, and then all of a sudden, you know, where they at? You know, all of a sudden, so it makes us worry. You definitely become family.
Yep, they sure do. But no, I haven't. Now that you mention, I haven't even heard him hunt. But I haven't been doing too much eavesdropping on SSB hunts anyway. So
Well, I was in Florida, so for a long time, and maybe he didn't get me good there. But I've been back for a little while, and I should have had him on my log by now. But we're gonna look. I'm on his page now. Make sure he's been hunting somebody. Recent activations.
north, north.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to be fine because he's hunted on the 17th
Okay, good.
quite a bit. So, Arnold, if you're listening, you need to get in my log again.
40-meter delta loop, awesome. Yes, sir. I mean, I don't mind staying till 8 or 9 o'clock, but time is kind of up.
Oh yeah, our time is up. I did not realize we're sitting here talking like crazy.
I don't mind at all. We can go for another hour.
I don't mind it either. But our good friend Charlie should be streaming. It should be Charlie's week, and you guys can head over there and talk to him. Thanks everybody for the super chats and for hanging out with us tonight. And
let me see if it is Charlie. I just got a notification. Yes.
So there you go. Head over and see Charlie, and I may see if my legs are good enough to survive, and walk over and do an activation as well. Awesome. 73, everybody.
See ya.
Well, maybe.
Click the button.